Today is going to be the day. And if today's not the day, tomorrow is going to be the day. And if tomorrow doesn't end up being the day, the next day is going to be the day. And if that day isn't the day, you are watching The Perfect Lineup, where Josh Engleman and myself, Dave Loughran, do everything we can each day to build the most beautiful lineup, take down a tournament here, preferably a single entry one. We're burning the edges. We were close yesterday. Kikuchi let us down. But nevertheless, 2 pitchers, 1 stack. Let the single lineup sims do the rest of the work. And if you want to get in on the action, a lot of you did yesterday, get a free week of MLB sims. All you got to do, drop a comment down below. Let us know who you think the top scoring stack is going to be. And if you're right, only person to guess it, you've got the sims. Otherwise, Josh spins the wheel. Of course, if you love this content, you think it's helped you along the way, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free to do, and let's get into it. All right, so pitching is actually very deep today. We've got 13 games. It's a Tuesday, no surprise there, right? So there are a few ways that we could play this. You could go balanced. You could go 2 high-priced guys, 2 of these 8K guys. I want to go up top, and then I want to go down to the bottom. And up top, look, man, Hunter Brown's a stud. I know he's 11K today. And I know Cleveland in the past has been a matchup that, we typically try to avoid. It hasn't really been the season this year, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the first thing we need to know, Hunter Brown has the second shortest AL Cy Young odds behind only Tarek Skubal. Yes, he's quite a bit behind him, but he's been damn near automatic all season long. Listen, he's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 14 of 16 starts, 1 or fewer in 11 of 16. It really doesn't get much better than that at all. 32% K rate, 3rd highest in baseball behind Skubal and Zach Wheeler. Pair that with a 50% ground ball rate, 6% barrel rate. There's simply nothing you shouldn't like about this guy. At this point, I'm going to say it. In almost any matchup he gets, you're talking about a guy that's going to, yes, face a bunch of lefties today, so a bunch of opposite-handed bats. But what if I told you that his K rate against lefties is almost 35%? It's like 6% higher than it is against righties. He has a 125 X ISO against left-handed bats, 276 X WOBA, and a 15.5 swinging strike rate. So, what are we worried about? And here's something you may not have known about this Guardians offense. I didn't know it until I looked at it today. They have scored on the year 4 more runs than the White Sox and 5 fewer runs than the Colorado Rockies.
Your top lineup for yesterday, the Boston Red Sox. They edged out the Kansas City Royals by 4 fantasy points. And that means that we have 18 different people that got yesterday's top stack right. And the only thing that we could do is spin the wheel for all 18 of you. If it would have been the Royals, much less. But today, we are giving out 1 free week of MLB Sims to Goldie Fontaine 3974. Congratulations, you beat out 17 other people. Email support@stokastic.com so that you can claim your free week.
All right, so I told you we'd go with a little high-low approach here. I think it makes sense, and I'll give you a couple of other options at the end of this one so you can make your own decisions if you don't like what we're building here, but I think you will. So here's the thing. Someone in my chat yesterday on the strategy show, check that out, by the way, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We cover the earlies, we cover the mains, we cover it all. I think it was Eric Johnson said, play Dick Fitz. Play old Dick Fitz because anyone is viable against the Rockies. Now, I've been a proponent of this all season long, before most people, admittedly, but I didn't listen. I thought in this instance, the Dick just simply didn't fit, given that we had some really good quality pitching. Well, I will say it. I was wrong. And that leads us to Brian Bayo at 6,600 and a better pitcher than Dick Fitz, which means he's going to get rocked for 6 innings and 6 runs in the first inning, right? It's just the way baseball goes, but still Colorado has a bottom 4 implied total on this slate. So Bayo is just objectively underpriced. He's getting ownership and he should be, but it's worth pointing out that you're talking about a mid 6K pitcher with a 5.5K prop and a 17.5 outs prop with juice to -1 or -200 on the over on Pinnacle. It just kind of makes him unavoidable. Do you need to have every lineup with Brian Bayo? No, but we're building one of them and he's 6,600. Honestly, though, the most encouraging part to me, and this is something I had harped on a while back that was concerning me, that has since changed. The best part about Bayo lately is that Remember when he went like 5 or 6 games without even getting through the 5th inning? Well, he's now gone 6+ innings in 5 straight, and then 5 innings on 62 pitches last time out, which was a relief effort in that continuation of a suspended game. So he's pitching deep. He's thrown 100+ pitches in a bunch of these games recently, and I think this is just a play here as our SP2. A few other guys that I don't hate in this range. Will Warren against Seattle. Yuri Perez coming off a phenomenal start. He's in Cincinnati as a low-owned flyer. And Jose Soriano, but I simply can never get this guy right. And I don't know if I'll get him right today either.
Well, the Reds were definitely not the stack for yesterday. So we're back to the drawing board today, and we're going to stick with the same color scheme, but we're going to change up the team a bit. And we're going to go to the St. Louis Cardinals. They're at home, and they've got Jake Irvin coming to town, and I think that's going to go pretty well for him. Now, let's talk about our data first. 6th in top stack, 13th in top value, but we've got a big slate. There's plenty of pitching to go around if you need to move stuff. I'm not too worried about the value. The top stack odds are what I want the most. 5th in stack score, that carries a lot of weight. Only 8th in ownership. So I actually think that we're going to provide a bit of positive leverage here. And that's what we want, because taking on Jake Irvin is pretty much good for everybody. 280x ISO against lefties so far this season. That is absolutely dreadful. 204x ISO to righties isn't exactly good. It just looks good in relationship to the performance of the lefties. Now, if you want to add in last year, it's still really bad against lefties and like slightly below average against righties. So wherever the truth lies, he's still just not very good. 8% swinging strike rate this season. Doesn't matter which hand is at the plate. Righties, lefties, maybe they can stand in the center of the plate. It doesn't seem to matter. He's just not generating any sort of swings and misses. Now, the park doesn't help us here. This is a pitcher's park, and unquestionably, it limits power. Doesn't matter which hand. It is worse to lefties than it is to righties, but it's not great either direction. So that is a slightly limiting factor. But obviously, home runs still get hit in St. Louis. It's just slightly less home runs. I want to focus on the lefties to start. Whether that's, and none of the, it's weird. Their value score is a little bit lower, but none of these guys have crazy price tags. They're all just like in the middle of it all. Nootbaar, you get an outfielder. Gorman at third seems like an absolute no-brainer. Burleson in the outfield, that gives us 2 if we want it. Donovan gives you an MPE. You certainly don't want to use him in the outfield, but 4,200 for a second baseman, you're willing to go that direction. And then we can talk about the righties, whether that's Contreras, which seems like a likely scenario. You can go to Win and grab a shortstop if you want, or you can go to Pajes and get a catcher at 3K. And as part of a stack, I'm always happy to attach a catcher. Maybe we attach a catcher and a shortstop, and we have a little bit more salary to work with for our 3 extra spots. But I mostly don't care what I get from the Cardinals, as weird as that sounds. I want to focus on the guys that have a little bit of pop, but the order of operations for which guys we take, I'm not too concerned, because Jake Irvin just seems to give it up to everybody. Now there's only one thing left to do. Head to the single lineup simulator to find out just how good this lineup is going to look. We went with Hunter Brown, we went with Brian Bayo, and I locked in my 5 Cardinals. We're closing off the infield, save for the catcher spot. Contreras, Donovan, Gorman, Wynn, Alec Burleson. So we need a catcher, 2 outfielders, and we have $4,100 per position to do this. I expect fireworks here. So I clicked the complete this lineup button to get the optimal plays to fill those spots, and it went pretty well. Sean Murphy in at catcher. 2-man stack now. We got another Brave, Ronald Acuna, come on down. Now we are filling out this lineup with Joey Loperfido, a 9-hole hitter, 2,500. It is absolutely a punt, but punts can work. Anybody could hit a home run. So the only thing we want to do is find out just how good is this lineup. And we will click Run Lineup Simulation to find out. And we built an absolute gem 80% sim ROI, 0.3% chance at the win, a 2.5% chance at top 10, 36% cash rate. Now, maybe you don't want low Perfido. We'll probably have some different outfield options that you can get to. Maybe you don't want to go with the double Brave stack. Maybe you don't even want to pay up all the way for Hunter Brown, and that changes up the way you want to set up this stack. But right now, it seems like Brown, Bayo, and the Cardinals are a perfect combination.